Hi there, my friends. Welcome to day 4 of Paid Ad Success Secrets Crash Course. Now, in this lesson, we're going to talk about the relationship between Google Tag Manager, which stands for GTM, Google Analytics 4, which stands for GA4, as you see on the screen, Bing Ads or Google Ads Platform. Now, before we talk about the relationship, let me show you some of the interface. So this is how a GTM will look like, all right, the Google Tag Manager. This is for Google Analytics, whereby you get more information. For example, if you go to the reports, or if you go to explore section, advertising, if you're running paid ads, configure how exactly you configure all the events as well as the audiences, so on and so forth. All right, now everything in terms of the setup is being covered in the full PASS course, which is the Paid Ad Success Secrets full course, which you can actually access via the link below this video if you are interested to purchase it and learn everything from step A to step Z. Now, so this is also the interface for Google Ads account, and this is the interface for Microsoft Bing Ads. So going back again to our this particular session, Google Analytics 4 is actually the newer version of Universal Analytics, which some people call it Google Analytics 3. But Universal Analytics will be phased out coming 1st of July 2023, which is barely 1 year plus from now, as at this point of recording, which is in May 2022. So in Google Analytics 4, this is where you're going to get tons of data in terms of the consumer behavior and their demographics when they actually visited your webpage. Google Ads, Bing Ads, these platforms are basically meant for you to test and to scale your ads. At the same time, give you some brief information in terms of how your conversions are doing, which particular ad, which particular ad set or ad group, which particular campaign is giving you the necessary conversions that you want and necessary minimal cost per conversion that you want also. All right, but end of the day, in order to get all this data into your Google Analytics 4 and into your Google Ads account or even Bing Ads account, you need this thing called tag, TAG. All right, and all these tags will be fired whenever there is certain actions, which we call trigger, all right, certain actions has been conducted on your website. Like for example, this particular person might have visited your website, and this is called a page view, and your Google Analytics 4 tag as well as your GTM tag must be fired in order to make sure that they are gathering the necessary data into your GA4 as well as your Google Ads and Bing Ads account. So these are things that a lot of newbies are not familiar with, and how exactly to set them up to collect the data as possible, all right, as whole as possible, all right, because what you need is a complete picture of what exactly is happening. If you can't even collect the data properly, how are you going to make sure that the information that you process after getting all this data is able to help you to scale the necessary campaigns? All right, and how exactly you interpret this data is very subjective. Like for example, some people are more concerned in terms of conversions when a person clicks a certain button to reach a thank you page after they subscribe to a newsletter. This could be their priority in terms of setting up the conversion goal when they actually set up this campaign. Whereas another person could be more in terms of looking at the data to know how to optimize the last two steps of the funnel, which eventually will lead into the purchase. You see? And at the same time, you also need all these tags to set up your remarketing tag to be fired so that you can actually gather the necessary audience list that you need. All right. So Google Ads Platform, Bing Ads Platform, GA4, GTM, all these things in terms of the step-by-step process of the necessary text that you need to insert into any relevant websites is all being covered in the full PASS course that you can access via the link below, like what I mentioned. All right. But in a nutshell, just bear in mind, GTM is meant for you to help you to insert all these text on your website or landing pages. GA4 is to give you more information in terms of the user behavior, all right, and as well as in terms of the demographics whenever they visited your landing page or websites. Google Ads, Bing Ads Platform is just to give you the bare minimum data if you don't have your GA4 and your GTM being set up properly. All right, and most importantly, for Google Ads, it will be very hard for you to actually do your remarketing or even your conversions tracking if you don't have all these tags being implemented well. All right, guys. So this concludes our day 4 lesson. Now, what I say, if you want to know more, you can consider actually going down to the video. All right, the particular button link to check out the full modules of my PASS course. Okay, take care guys.